I overheard my dad whisper to my cousin, "Your brother? He's finished." I glanced at Mom. She was smirking like it was all part of the plan. That same night, I shifted every last cent out of reach. What they didn't realize was I'd been preparing for this moment all along. "Don't you dare twist this, Callum!" My father's voice thundered, rattling the picture frames on the wall. The dining table was a war zone. Half-empty glasses, unopened bills, and a whiskey bottle tipped on its side. Mom sat in the corner, pretending to cry, though her lips curled upward in the kind of smirk you wear when chaos benefits you. Mara, my sister, spat back. "You always defend him. You've done it his whole useless life." She jabbed her finger in the air toward Ellis. The air was sharp, charged, like a storm that refused to break. I leaned against the doorway, silent as always, while the shouting clashed around me. Ellis, my cousin, seized his chance. He slammed his palm flat on the table, sending papers flying. "Don't look at Mara. It's not her this time. It's him, Henry. He's the one who drained the account." The room froze. Dad's jaw clenched. Mom stopped her fake tears. Mara's mouth hung open. Every single eye turned on me like I was already guilty. My name is Henry, 26. The quiet one, the shadow in my own family. I grew up in silence not because I was weak, but because no one ever listened when I spoke. Silence became my shield, and over time, silence became my weapon. Ellis's accusation should have rattled me, but I didn't flinch, didn't argue, just let the quiet stretch. Because here's the secret none of them knew. I did move the money. Every cent. Not to waste it, not to gamble it, but to protect it, to keep it out of their greedy hands. And the best part? I'd been preparing for this night for years. I watched my father's rage rising, watched Mara's confusion crack, and I almost smiled. They had no idea how carefully I'd been waiting for this exact storm.
Family members introduced. The room looked less like a family home and more like a courtroom with broken walls. Callum, my father, 58, a man whose temper ran faster than his reason. He carried pride like a badge, but it blinded him to truth. Ivy, my mother, 54. She cried when convenient, smiled when cruel, and played fragile when it gave her control. Mara, my older sister, 29. Sharp-tongued, impatient, living proof that favoritism spoils rather than saves.
Ellis, my cousin, 27. The snake who waited in corners, always watching for scraps to steal. Dad leaned forward, eyes narrowed on me. "You? Of all people, Henry. Tell me that's not true." I didn't blink. "You've already made your judgment. Why bother asking?" Mom gasped dramatically. "Don't talk to your father that way." But before anyone could respond, Mara whispered too quickly, almost to herself. He wasn't supposed to find out yet. The floor seemed to fall out from under them. Even Ellis turned to her, stunned. So that was it. This wasn't about money in the account. It was about what was coming. The inheritance. "Don't you dare bring me into your lies," Mara hissed at Ellis. Ellis laughed, sharp and ugly. "You're already knee-deep, cousin. Don't try to wash your hands now." Dad's fury snapped back to me. "You've done nothing for this family. Nothing. And now you think you deserve to take from it?" My nails dug into my palm. Memories flashed. 2 jobs at once. Long nights patching the roof, saving bills they never even knew existed. My sacrifice had paid for this family's survival, but my father couldn't see past his chosen golden child. Inside, I whispered to myself, I've seen this game before. They cut me out. They always cut me out. But then Mom's eyes betrayed her, darting toward Mara when the word will came up. A will, a signature, a lie, something much bigger than just money in a bank account. The volume spiked, everyone shouting at once. The living room turned into a storm of fists without fists. Ellis bared his teeth. "Don't act clean, Mara. Your mother promised me a cut." Mara's face went red. "Shut up! That wasn't supposed to—" "Enough!" Dad roared, but his voice cracked with doubt. I stayed seated, perfectly calm. My quiet was more powerful than their screaming. Every time I refused to engage, the fire in their throats grew hotter. Finally, I leaned forward, speaking softly, each word deliberate. Do you really want me to say what I know? A silence fell heavy. Mara froze. Mom gripped the edge of her chair. Even Dad, who had never been afraid of anyone, leaned back like the air itself had shifted. The predator in the room wasn't the loudest one. It was me. Memory stabbed me. I was 17, rain dripping from a broken roof. Callum was passed out drunk on the couch, empty bottles scattered. Mara had a date to get to, so she walked past me without helping. I spent hours climbing ladders, patching leaks with torn hands, my shirt soaked, my body shaking. When I finally finished, I overheard Mom the next morning bragging to the neighbor about how Ellis had come by late at night to patch things up. Ellis. He hadn't even been there. That was my whole childhood. I gave, they erased, but Mara knew. She'd seen me bleeding that night, muttering, "You'll never matter, Henry. Stop trying." And she wasn't wrong. At least, not back then. The dam broke. Ellis slammed his fist down. Tell him, Mara. Tell Daddy's favorite girl whose name is on those forged papers. Mara's lips trembled. Color drained from her face. Callum stiffened. What papers? My sister's eyes darted to Mom, then back to me. Silence screamed louder than words. Ellis grinned like a hyena. Your daughter forged Granddad's signature, shifted the land into her name, and Ivy knew. She let it happen. We all played a part, except for poor Henry, the ghost son. Dad staggered backward like he'd been punched in the gut. You, Mara, you lied to me? Tears finally fell down Mara's cheeks. I had no choice. You never would have given Henry anything. You wanted him gone, always. I just made sure I got what I deserved. I stepped forward, steady, calm. I knew. Every forged date, every fake signature, I've known for months. I let you dig your own graves. The living room shattered, glass thrown, chairs kicked, voices tearing through walls, Mara screaming at Ellis, Mom clutching her chest like the victim, Dad pacing like a caged lion. And me? I stood in the middle, unshaken. I gave you all my silence, I said, voice cutting through the chaos like steel. Tonight, I give you the truth, Ellis sneered, spittle flying. You think you're above us? You're just as rotten. No, I said coldly. I'm just not pretending anymore. But then the unexpected twist. Callum turned on me, voice trembling with something worse than rage. You knew, he whispered. You knew, and you didn't protect me. For the first time in my life, my father looked at me not with anger, but with fear. I left the house without raising my voice. My footsteps were steady, echoing in the night like freedom itself. Behind me, I heard Mara's voice break. Henry, please, don't walk away, we can fix this. But I didn't stop, didn't look back. All my life, I begged for scraps of recognition. Tonight, I finally understood. I didn't need their table. I could build my own. They'll never see me the same again, I thought. And that's exactly what I wanted. This wasn't the end. Not for me. Healing had begun. But revenge? That part was only just waking up. Weeks later, I drove past the old house, curtains shut tight, the yard overgrown, the family inside rotting under the weight of their own lies. I wasn't angry anymore. I wasn't even bitter, just free. For the first time, I could breathe without carrying their weight. Peace doesn't come when they finally change, I whispered to myself. It comes when you stop waiting for them to. And that night, for the first time in 26 years, I slept without a single nightmare. If you were in Henry's place, would you forgive them? Or would you walk away forever? Tell me in the comments. Your voice matters here. If Henry's storm hit you deep, subscribe for more powerful stories. Like if you felt his strength through the silence, comment your thoughts. Sometimes healing begins when we share our pain.